Wow. I'm not very good at this.
You're absolutely fantastic. You'll be fine. You know that. Anyway, it's not going on Channel 7 or anything like that.
Hey, I've been on there before, grand final day, because we slept out.
We sleep out for the grand final. Okay, I'm Chris Browne.
I'm Shirley Fagan.
We first met when we were 15 and we were playing for a team called St Stephen's down at Cardinia Park, and then we were selected in a representative team and we went to Canberra and we played on grass courts. We then played together at Newcombe in the BFL. That was in the 80s. Had a lot of success there. I then went on to Leopold and also then on to Torquay because my husband played at Torquay. So I did play in 3 teams in the BFL up until 2000. And that's when my career stopped.
I stayed at Newcombe. I met my husband there, and then I went down to Port Arlington.
Well, we started coaching our daughters. Shirley's youngest, Chloe, and my eldest, Madison. We started coaching them at Newcombe. And they were very, very successful. And so successful that when down at Cardinia Park, they wouldn't allow them to play in their age group.
We had to give a 30-goal start.
And they'd still win. So we knew that we needed to move them. And we were playing down at Life Be In It, and a gentleman by the name of David Morgan, who was the junior coordinator at South Barwon, came and approached us and said, look, I'd really like you to come into the GFL. And we thought, yeah, maybe this was the way we should go. The GFL was introduced in 2000, but we started at South Barwon together in 2002.
That's when the grand finals were at Cardinia Park.
In the car park.
Yeah.
We won't even go there now because that would be an insult to women if that happened now. It was fun. I think the fact that it was as well organised as it was, right? That there was a structure, that we actually belonged to a club. I mean, I know it took a while for the football side to accept the netball side, but they did eventually, and we had so much success, South Barwon couldn't ignore it. We started juniors and the seniors weren't as successful, and then the flow happened from the juniors through to the seniors. You breed success, and that's what happens, right?
Well, Chris, did you want to take us through some of those achievements?
Yeah, I would.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so we co-coached 2002 to 2016, and Shirley did 1 year after me. I said to her, I think I'm done. My daughters were, travelling all over the countryside. We talked about it and said, but it wouldn't be right for both of us to go at the same time. I co-coached 45 sides, and then Shirley did another 3 after that. Of the sides, 47 played in grand finals, 37 won premierships and 10 were runners-up. 18 teams were premiers and champions. They did not lose a game for a season. 18 teams. In 2005 and 2007, all teams involved in won premierships and did not lose a game for 2 years. 2007, all 3 junior teams were 3 premierships and champions, no lost games. 2002, 2004, 2005, 2007 and 2016 and 2017, all 3 junior teams played in grand finals and won. 13 and under won 9 grand finals, 8 premierships, 1 runner-up. 15 and under, 11 grand finals, 9 premierships, 2 runners-up. 17 and unders, 8 premierships, 4 runners-up.
Last year in the grand final, in the finals, the A-grade team were full of all our juniors.
All our juniors, and both sides.
So that to me is the love of the game. That's what hits here.
So we had a lot of success, but I believe it was the hard work that we put in. Well, they called us the nursery, and I do remember Shirley and I coming to a meeting here one night. The coordinators from another club said, what are you doing that we're not doing that is making you so successful? We explained to them it was the way we trained them. Shirley and I would meet on a Tuesday at Subway up here. For an hour we would plan our session, and we would walk in there and it would be 10 seconds for a drink, and that would train for an hour and a half solid. The standards that we set, we had values and standards that we did not compromise on, and I think that was because of our maturity, and that helped us with parents. because I know that's a difficulty for some younger coaches the parents. I know parents all love their children and they all think their children are pretty good, but they've also got to allow coaches to coach.
I think also we brought a bit more professionalism into it. I would make it known that if we noticed any of the parents coaching from the other side, we would bring their daughter off and put them on the bench, because we didn't want anybody else interfering and confusing our players.
We would only train inside, and so we trained at Montpellier Primary School.
Yep.
So training went on regardless of weather. We would feed off one another. Wouldn't always agree, but
No.
we'd agree to agree. She would speak to my daughter and I would speak to her daughter. So coaching our daughters wasn't an issue.
No.
And we used to have Division 1, 13s, 15s and 17s all on the one court. We would actually make sure that they worked together. So the 17s would throw to the 13s and we'd say, don't hang back on them.
The interaction between the three ages
was excellent.
Was really, really good.
And you'll hear the 17s as they were coming through saying, we benefited as 13s and then we were able to give back as 15s and 17s. Sadly, we got stronger and stronger and stronger. And we weren't just about South Barwon, don't get us wrong. We were about developing netball all the way through. Well, you talk about the Australian side. It's no good them winning all the time. They've got to be challenged by the other team. It doesn't make for a good competition. And so therefore, it's not good for someone to be so dominant.
Our girls were very strong. So both Chris and I decided we're going to start to cap.
Yes,
didn't we?
We did. And it was sad because we knew why they were coming. They were wanting the coaching. So we get that. That happens in all sports.
When I coached at Flyers, I had a policy that I wanted to work with the better players out of all the clubs and give them the opportunity so that then they would go back to their club with our training methods and sort it with that.
We hopefully set a really good standard and other clubs got at least a bit of a template that they could follow and then they could take their own tour on it, whatever.
And do you believe that sort of standard that you set during those early days has formed the sort of formula now?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Because as I said, the Joeys and the St Marys came on board, etc., etc., etc. They started to realise that you have to put into your juniors and it'll flow into your seniors. And we're still heavily involved in netball in different areas, and probably will continue to be because we just love it. And
I feel what I've got out of it is the love of netball, but I actually loved seeing the kids developed and in their personal life as well. Mm-hmm. Like they could come up and talk to us about anything. Yeah. It was just beautiful. And I get that now with mentoring junior umpires. I absolutely love it. I love see them grow. Like I'll use Emily Green as an example, who's a great role model, and she's come through the pathways, but now she is actually giving back. When I started doing the panel, it was us oldies that did it. We didn't have the young ones coming through, where now with all the mentoring, with the courses, being able to receive a C badge, it's being competent. Not like what it used to be back in the old day. We used to have to sit and do the exam. Now it's online, you've got your rule book there. Hello. That's evolved a lot. It has.
Because it needed to evolve.
The programs are really good now. But the young ones, they've become stronger. It's now time for them to come up. But it's also time for players and spectators to allow them to do the job.
We've also both just recently, in the last year, a couple of years, been granted life membership at South Barwon, which is very, very dear to us both. So we're very, very grateful for that, for what our contribution, that it was acknowledged and that we're part of one of the great clubs in the GFL.